Welcome to the Music with a Message series brought to you by the Seattle World Tour as part of our Winter Food Drive and Fundraiser. I'm Taylor Hart from Respect My Region, and I'm here today with Emma Lee Toyoda. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing? How has COVID been treating you?
Oh.
How is the whole shebang-a-bang?
Bad. But, you know, like most people, I'm sure. Just working at my parents' restaurant, so, you know, living that essential worker life.
Have you been working throughout the entire pandemic?
Pretty
then?
much. We closed for that first lockdown period, but then we opened up just for takeout, and we don't let anyone in. We basically just pass food out the window, front window, have someone out there delivering it out to people in cars and shit.
Quick shout out.
Oh, Toyota Sushi, always wearing merch at all times. No, this is literally what I wear every day. So
it looks comfortable, cozy. You know, why not,
about
right?
The cozy merch. You know? You don't want to wear something too tight or constricting.
For sure, yeah.
We basically have these in sweat shorts, which are the best clothing design.
Yeah. I mean, when you're working in a kitchen, it's nice to have breathable clothing, lightweight clothing.
Yes.
Been there many times.
Absolutely.
Especially in the summer months, it's definitely not not the best.
Sweat monster.
And especially now, it's better to have lightweight, breathable fabric, easy to clean, easy.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
Comfort is essential.
Yeah.
Being an essential worker.
Everyone deserves comfort. Everyone deserves comfort.
Absolutely.
I love my different modes of comfort. Identifying those has been really crucial throughout this time.
And what are those for you?
Well, I've always loved chips. Potato chips. I miss Old Dutch potato chips in Canada. Those are great. Those are my favorite.
Never had them.
They have their pickle flavor is great. They're just lightly salted. I love a lightly salted chips. Most chips are too salty in my opinion, but they really get it right. But I've been eating a lot of popcorners, which are weird. They're little. Have you tried them?
Are they like the puffed up, crunchy chips or whatever?
It's popcorn that they smashed and shaped into chips, like triangle chips. They're weird.
Are they good though?
They're good. They're I don't know. I really like the texture. That's great. I have a whole little chip corner beside my bed because it's just that's comfort to me. It's just being able to roll over, grab some chips.
Does it help you in your creativity having a comfort zen area?
I mean, I guess so. Creativity is just has been such a joke to me this last year. I've been depressive episode to depressive episode, just
for sure.
Because of what our reality is. But, messed with my meds a little bit here and there throughout the pandemic. Shout out to virtual therapy sessions. Wow.
Absolutely. Zoom has been amazing through all of this. Being able to do virtual sessions like that, being able to physically see somebody in a time where we can't really get together and see people.
Totally.
That's amazing to take advantage of for sure.
FaceTime. I already loved FaceTime pre-pandemic, but now it's just yes, this is my world now. No, it is nice in some respects staying home. I'm definitely a homebody. So
for sure.
And I get sick a lot, so I just have lived this quarantine lifestyle for a period of my life. So it doesn't feel all that different. And knowing a lot of immunocompromised people, it's this is their everyday reality a lot of the time. Yeah. Is just staying home, staying in bed.
Right. So throughout this pandemic, then, have you just been focusing on more working on yourself instead of working on your music?
I guess 2019, I finished recording a full-length album and was okay, in 2020, I'm not going to go touring. I'm just going to work on the album videos. I want a whole visual album for the 14 songs. So it's just been talking to directors, checking in on people, but like that has changed so drastically with the pandemic, where it's like I don't expect anyone to be outputting, you know, material on a deadline, and like I just care more about like how are you doing, like how are you taking care of yourself, like how does it feel to create for you, and like no pressure. I don't know, just talking to another person more so than like, hey, like let's do this project and let's, you know, make this thing.
Right.
Because that's not where that's not where I'm at most of the time.
Right.
I'm sure that's not where a lot of people are right now. So.
And I don't think we can hold anybody accountable for anything through any of this. Because there's so many different levels of what's happening, and like multiple different lanes of things happening too. I mean, it's just like you can't really put any emphasis on deadlines and nothing like that. So, but you did play something that is unreleased for us earlier.
Yeah, so that's from the new album that'll be coming out whenever, you know, it's ready. Whenever people are ready to do. I don't know. It's like I think about half of them are done of the videos. But I just really want to wait till everything's done and release it all out together rather than like album first and then here's videos.
Right.
Because I feel like also this was pre-pandemic that all these plans were really in my head, but now it's kind of like, yeah, people do just want to like sit down and watch something and like hear something nice rather than like, I don't know. It's just, I think media is so different now and consuming media is so different now.
Right.
There's a different weight to it. And I haven't really played any live stream shows, and like this is my first one, I guess, live with like, I don't know, seeing people in a room and playing music to people who are like looking at me and experiencing me and like I exist, you know?
Right, yeah.
Because for so many periods of time during like 2020, I was just like, I don't remember that I am a human in a body. And like people remember who I am, and like running into people at like protests. I'm just like, I wish you wouldn't say my name right now, but it's nice to know like you know who I am, and like
Absolutely.
I don't know, I'll keep you safe.
Your passion is still there in the live performance, though, for sure. I know we all felt it when you were performing.
Oh, thank you.
I remember your performance as the Seattle World Tour beforehand, and I felt that same kind of emotional connection and passion through the music, and it transcends.
Wow.
And you're just super rad on the guitar as well.
Oh, thank you, God. That was my first time. I just like, that was, I can count on one hand like how many times I picked up a guitar in the last year, and that was shaky. But, you know,
it's something where you get those goosebumps and you feel it, and it was incredible watching you perform.
Thank you so much.
And I'm excited to hear the album when it comes to fruition. Do you think you'll be like exploring it a little bit more now that like the vaccine's being talked about, or are you still kind of treading lightly on it as far as like going out there and finishing it up?
I'm treading very lightly. I don't know. My anxious brain has like kind of seen like all these things coming beforehand of like maybe this will happen, worst case scenario, like new strain, it gets like worse and more people die. So I'm just like learning the value of being flexible and being malleable to every situation and everything that is asked, and like I just have too many immunocompromised loved ones so that like my worst fear, like I don't even care about like me dying, it's more like someone I love dying, and like I don't know, being somehow a carrier of that and being responsible for that is so big and such a big weight. And I don't know, as the baby of the family, as you know, it's just like they take care of us, so we gotta take care of them.
100%. I deal with that. My dad immunocompromised, and I have to take every precaution possible in order to see him one time in the past year. It's like get tested and completely clean myself, my belongings, top to bottom. Absolutely. that is my biggest fear, is being the one to bring it in.
Yeah.
I know I'm capable of dealing with the virus, but I don't want to be the one to bring it into somebody else's life, especially being an essential worker myself and out there in there. So, I feel that to my core.
It's a whole different experience of this time too. Our essential workers, and people, shout out essential workers all the time and stuff, but it's like on a day-to-day basis, there's still not, you don't see the kind of tips that you think that people like with empathy during this time would. Just like, I don't know, it's really wild how some people are just like, think it's fine and like, everything's just whatever, they should get what they want, and we demand these things. I'm gonna yell at you on the phone because like you got something wrong. Like,
or yell at you in your face while not wearing a mask because I won't let you in. I won't let you into the store, and so you're just gonna yell at me directly to my face. Empathy has been a big theme for the past year, for sure. Again, I say this pretty much every interview. I never know how to transition because I always get like kind of emotional for this. But a lot of the things that we're seeing happening with the pandemic right now too, and where there were people who were in a good spot and being able to help out other people, lose that ability because they lost their job, because they lost, whatever to this pandemic. Even just losing loved ones in this pandemic has made it difficult to go about and navigate daily life. And what we strive for here at Seattle World Tour is, helping with homelessness and those issues, which is pretty much at the forefront of, any person's mind that was working a basic 9-to-5 job. They, even me working throughout the entire pandemic, if I didn't work, I would not have a home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we've just been kind of asking everybody, what kind of thoughts that you might have on maybe some of the resources that are available and how to get homeless people to those resources, or like what thoughts you have that might be change in society could help, really kind of anything that you might have thought-wise towards all of this.
Yeah, I mean, Black and Indigenous people are definitely always impacted the worst by, just systemically. And so then that trickles down to every, thing of life, of being paid less, having less access to everything.
Absolutely.
So there's just not any kind of support coming from the government or that kind of side of politics, whatever. So I think mutual aid is becoming more and more of just a daily presence in my life in the last year, and just learning more about it and trying to just get people on board about it, because I think that's the way forward. I think community power is way more than any kind of legislative power that's gonna really on a real basis do something. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed more things will happen.
I believe that I had heard that you were kind of helping out with South King County Eastside COVID Mutual Aid.
Yeah, I've been volunteering for them since close to the start of the pandemic. And just started out with they had some free boxes of fresh goods that they were dropping off, or needed drivers to drop off. And I saw, a flyer for that, and I was like, oh, I can do that during this time. And from there, it just kind of grew to getting paired up with a family. And so every other week, I delivered groceries for them. And they live in Kent, and the father of the family has cancer, so he's in and out of the hospital. So they have to be really careful. The mom is there to take care, and she, it's. They have 2 kids, 2 or 3 kids, which they're really cute. They're come out sometimes when after I drop things off, and they'll wave, and it's I feel children living through this time is really what I'm worried about, I think.
Yeah.
And just like hearing kids around me, like my neighbors, they're just like, their screams are coming later and later into the night, and I'm like, okay, your sleep's getting disturbed, your whole schedule, your routine, like, is different. What is your socialization gonna be like? And,
Right.
like, I don't know.
So it's like, it sounds like you could do a wide variety of tasks for them, and pretty much anybody can get involved to help, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
They have like a weekly email or like there's some kind of mailing list that you can sign up for. There's, if you just go to any of, I think Instagram profiles are easiest to find, but they have an ongoing call for like more delivery drivers, donations all the time, because they reallocate either funds or groceries, and coordinate all of that. So I'm more of just the driver.
Right.
Which I also love driving, so that's kind of a nice thing to do during this time.
Yeah.
Of, get out of the house, get in the car.
For sure. So doubling back down now, back to the children. Do you think that there's any way that we can help kids kind of grasp the situation in even to a small degree, and maybe like help them not fall into this pattern of poor sleeping habits, or not taking care of themselves or something like that?
Damn. I mean, that's a really good question. And so there's also this other organization that I volunteer with sometimes called Feast, and they're all about empowering youth of color in like Delridge and like South Seattle area.
Okay.
And that's through like food justice and like through just like it's like a youth-led organization, because they believe that centering the people who are most impacted by like what they want to change like should be at the forefront. So there's youth leaders and like their board meetings, and like creating all of their structure. So that's more organizations like that would be sick, I think, and help further that. But no, that's awesome. I did not know about that, and so that's great.
That's
they
super
also need
cool
delivery
to hear.
drivers on a regular
For
basis.
sure.
Just like dropping meals off to youth in the South area, because no youth should go hungry. So.
Absolutely, and that's why we're doing this food drive and raising awareness for these things, because even in your own community, you have no idea what's happening to a lot of people, or like these organizations, and so I think it's important to spread the news.
Absolutely.
Tell people about it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to mention, anything else as far as upcoming as you as an artist, or just really any final thoughts?
I'm thankful for things like this, Seattle World Tour, putting things together for a greater cause, and I'm so glad that I got to be a part of this. And as soon as I saw South King County Mutual Aid was on like the beneficiaries, like, oh yeah, I already volunteered for them. Like, yeah, another mode of volunteering, yes. And yeah, it was so wild to play music in front of people for the first time in over a year now, probably. I don't know. Time is
Gone.
It's
not a concept anymore.
Feels like years. I don't know. It probably will be. So I'm just prepared. I'm prepared for years of this. So I'm like.
Well, we're happy to have you here. It was fantastic.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the work of this and having these intentional conversations, and
appreciate it. Yeah. Wonderful.
You hate me, but you love my friends, except for the ones you perceive as threats. What are you afraid of? What are you really afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are you really afraid of?